Hey, Composer Gloves here, and today in this Sytrus from the ground up, we are going to talk about Hertz and we're going to talk about ratio. Now, if you've watched the FM series, which I hope you have, you'll find that these are very simple concepts once you understand it. So what's the ratio of? The ratio is of the pitch that you're hitting. For whatever reason, Sytrus felt it was appropriate to use 2 times the ratio. So whenever you hit a note, you're actually hearing not the note you're hitting, but twice that. So if you go to 1, it's taking the note that you're hitting, like the hertz. So let's say I'm hitting, let's just say I'm hitting A440, and you multiply that by 1, you get A440. So you do that. If you go up 4, so this means that this relationship, every time you double, if you're not familiar with hertz, every time you double the number of hertz, you go up an octave. So we go up an octave, but if I want to double that again, I've got to multiply it by 4. If I want to go up again, I got to go 8, 16. And I can go all the way up to 64 times. It's a huge number. So, and then you have all these little values in between. Now, I believe you can hold down Control while doing this. Yeah, you can. You can hold down Control to get a more exact value, and you can hold down Alt and click to reset it. One thing that it can't do is you can't type in a value, which is something that I find extraordinarily valuable. So, in the new Sytrus, one day they will have the ability to type in values, and it will be great. They will do essentially what other plugins have been doing for a while. So I just wish you could type in a value. Occasionally it's annoying when you have to like drag and you skip the number, you accidentally scroll past it or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So okay, so we got 1, 2, so we can multiply whatever the note we're hitting on our keyboard. We can multiply that by a thing. This is very powerful in FM land in that series. It's also very powerful just as a general sound designer weapon. So I could put out operator 1, I could take 2, I could output that, and I can make it an octave above it. Now this is based on a ratio. So the higher up we get, so if I go up to higher, the notes will change on our screen at least. They'll change their apparent closeness, but it's a ratio. So, and like if we were to do something closer together, like let's say something like this, 1.3. Let's say that's for whatever reason, maybe we're making a house track or something, and we want this sort of detuny chord thing going. Well, that's great in this octave, but let's go up a few octaves. You see the ratio multiplies them, and they come out very different values. So that's something you need to be aware of with a ratio. So what is... Oh, now that's a really powerful weapon. As far as like we're massive, you can do an offset by like 12 semitones or whatever like that. And so they do a little math, and they always give you a consistent value. That's really great, but that might not be what you want. So FM, the ratio concept gives you a really powerful weapon as far as creating interesting timbres that move across the entire spectrum. So as you go up, they could change really slowly or whatever. Now, what is a way we could combat this? Let's say we don't want that. Well, we could set them both to a ratio of 1. So they share the same ratio. So no matter where they are in the spectrum, they will be the same note. However, we can then offset it by hertz. So hertz is basically cycles per second by the scientist Hertz. I forgot his first name, something Hertz. And it was named after him. So it's the amount of cycles, the amount of oscillations per second. It is covered in my Sound and Synth Basics course. So we can offset it, and this will remain consistent all the way across the spectrum. This has other consequences, though. So let's go up quite a bit more. So I'm just gonna earball it, and as we go up and down, you see it stays the same. So you can maintain your relationships as you go across. So again, but you're sacrificing other things. Now you can see you go into the other things I'm referring to the ratio, what we just talked about. Ooh, I'm being protected by Viper. So if we come down into the negative, we see that we can go in the negative here. And the reason that is because it's an offset. So you're offsetting it from the original value, which is 1. And if you come down, we can go down to like minus 1,000 or whatever. Once we go below the pitch that's available, you just won't hear it. It'll just go away. So the reason the negative values exist is because it is an offset. Now, if we go up, if we make this a ratio, we just talked about how ratios will be different as we move around. Well, if we apply a Hertz offset, that'll like influence our ratio too. So you can combine the two. So they sound more in tune up high, but down low, because 160 hertz between 10 and 15K or 10 and 20K is not a big deal. But down here, an entire octave could be defined by like 20 hertz. From 20 to 40 is one whole octave. So that could be a huge deal. We've essentially skipped a couple octaves right here. So that's a really interesting thing that we could use as a sound designer to create some interesting textures and some interesting harmonic relationships. So we could really just get crazy. That's something really unique to Sytrus that you just can't do in other plugins. And so understanding hertz versus ratios is an important concept. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.
Opposing blows. Reversing.